Hi everyone. I started this craft before realizing I wanted to do a tutorial and started videoing. So I painted, this is an old cigar box that I took the paper off of and sanded it down. Then I painted a coat of Waverly Elephant Gray on it and dried it. Then I took a tea light candle and rubbed it all over the lid you see here. And now I'm painting over the wax from the candle with Waverly plaster. And then here you see me drying it with my heat gun. And then I'm going to take packing tape and rub it on the top of the dry paint really well and then rip it off. That's going to give it a chipped paint look, as you can see. I'm doing the front and back and all four edges of the lid. You'll have to excuse my son. He kept trying to show me videos. So now I'm taking a napkin. I believe I got this at decoupagenapkins.com, if I remember correctly. And I'm taking the two back layers off, so you're just left with the sheer top layer. And then I tear the edges because I don't like it cut. Cut edges you see really well in the finished product, but if you tear the edges blend in much better, so you don't see them. Then I just positioned the napkin in a good place, and now I am coating a thin layer of Mod Podge. You don't want to go too thick because it'll make your napkin wrinkle. So a thin, even layer. And then I'm going to take my sander and sand down the excess on the edges. I did go over the top of it again with a top coat of Mod Podge. Although I did that off camera a little later. And here I am using the tea light candle to put a thick layer of wax on the outside of the cigar box and the top edges. I did not bother with the inside or the bottom because those won't really be seen. And again, painting over the wax with the Waverly plaster. And then I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. And then I'm using just what little bits in the lid for the plaster to do the legs. Now these legs, I'm pretty sure I got them at Dollar Tree. It was a pack of little wooden Christmas trees. And I painted them with the gray and then dry brushed the plaster over them. And now I'm taking the packing tape and chipping the paint. And I'm sorry about the positioning of the camera. I thought it was positioned better than this. I'll have to work on that. I keep pulling the craft off screen. And now I'm doing the top edges. I just get my packing tape at Dollar Tree. I do tend to go through quite a bit of it for this type of project. So here I was putting, was going to glue the lid in place, but I realized it was sitting down too low. So I wanted it up a bit higher. So I took 6 tumbling tower blocks and painted them with the elephant gray from Waverly. Here I think I paused a little bit for I realized I forgot to plug in my hot glue gun to get it ready. Now I'm taking my heat gun to dry the pieces. In hindsight, honestly, I wish I had done 1 more row. 2 rows worked, but I kind of feel like 3 rows would have been better. So on the inside, I do 2 rows of 3 that I hot glue towards the back of the box. I'm building kind of a platform for the lid. You can see the platform there. Now I'm taking Jolie finishing wax, black, and I'm going over the legs and the box with it. It's going to kind of grunge it up a little bit, give it a nice finish. I really like this wax. Sometimes I use this one, and I also use a dark brown finishing wax from Behr. But for this particular project, I felt the black finishing wax would be better. Just helps give it a more old antique-y look. Now I'm going to hot glue the legs into place. Now off screen I cut a piece of foam, as you can see, to fit and glued it inside, and I found this handle, it's a drawer handle, at Goodwill, and glued it into place. And now I'm going to glue some moss. I picked this up at Walmart. I want to think it was $3 and something a bag. So you just want to make sure that your foam is covered well. You don't really want the green foam to show through, and it's very messy to work with, as you can see. These flowers I picked up from Temu. They're pretty inexpensive, much cheaper than, well, even Dollar Tree, honestly, and a much better quality. I just love their flowers. So I didn't hot glue the flowers into place so that I could, you know, take them out and rearrange them as I saw fit until I got the look I wanted. But they're not going anywhere. They're shoved in that foam really well. Here I took some out of the corner. I decided I wanted to put a bird and some eggs in there. The bird and the eggs I got from Amazon. I just rearranged some of the moss a little bit to kind of look like a nest, and glued the eggs and the bird in place, and then finished filling in my flowers. I was really happy with how well the bird matched the bird on the picture, on the napkin. Then I decided I wanted to antique up the handle. It was a little too brass for me, so I used Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel and cinnamon. So I painted it with the Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel, and then while the paint's wet, you sprinkle cinnamon on it, and then dab it again with the wet paint still on the foam to kind of push in and solidify that that cinnamon, and it gives it that nice rust look. And here is our project. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching.